Hello, everyone, and welcome back once again. Today, we're going to have another honest conversation about DNF Duel. And today, for our special guest, we have the troubleshooter Henny God himself, Bacon. Bacon, if you'd like to introduce yourself or say something real quick.
Yeah, hi guys. I'm Bacon. I'm everyone's favorite alcoholic. Uh, to prove that, I am wildly hungover, so my gameplay is not a direct representation of my actual gameplay today.
That's a good thing for me. I might have a chance of beating him.
Yeah, there's a big chance today.
But today, for our conversation about DNF Duel, we are going to be focusing on the character balance and kind of like not the tier list of the game, but just how the characters whether or not every character is valid and the balance between them and such. So we'll go ahead and get into the arcade machine.
Yeah. Because I got thoughts, and I don't give myself this label, but like I'm technically a top player in DNF. You know, I'm a top 15 player. And a lot of the other top players I talk to do not agree with my opinions on the characters in this game. But I'm like, that's copium. This is like the real situation of what's going on with these characters right now.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, a DNF is full of copium. And
it honestly is. People that think like we're going to get real support for this game are sucking on some hard copium.
Mm-hmm. I am one of those people. I still have faith.
Yeah, this game... So, I know this is off topic, but this game was designed strictly as an advertisement for DFO, which is Nexon's big moneymaker. The issue is, Arc system got involved, and the game made, significantly more money than they thought it was going to make, and it, is more popular than they thought it was going to be. So now they're in a situation where they don't want to spend more money than they have to because they're trying to make that, DFO money. So they don't know what to do.
Yeah, I agree with that 100%. That definitely does seem to be the case with some of the stuff I've looked into.
You're not dead.
Oh, thank God. But yeah.
Yeah. So, what is your question? You're gonna say something here.
So basically, I was just gonna say like, so we know that this game has basically exceeded probably the expectations set. Like right now the game, as most people like to say, is dead. But I think it's fair to say that based on like what we saw at day one, like the first weeks or so, this game definitely sold decently well.
Yeah.
And it definitely feels like after watching the update video that they gave at CEO Taku, you do get that sense of like they're kind of scrambling, to get stuff out, which explains why they've been silent for so long. And so it's an interesting situation that this game is in. And one reason why this game is suffering is surprisingly also one of its best parts. It's characters.
Yeah.
And so that silence and that kind of like hesitation to really do anything after not wanting to do anything at first is definitely showing on the game itself. And I think you have quite a bit to say about this because you've actually been changing your mains due to certain matchups and such. So if you want to try to get into that.
Yeah. So Troubleshooter wasn't even the first character I played in this game. He was the third character I played when the game came out. And I'm not like a day oneer or anything. I did not play in any of the betas. I did not play this game until like 3 weeks after its release. But so Troubleshooter, I just liked his play style. It wasn't like a personal attachment to the character or anything. I didn't think he was particularly cool or anything. I was just like, hey, I like how he plays. Let's play him. And I've had success with him. I've had a lot of top 8s. No wins, but I've had top 8s and stuff with him. And then I kind of started to notice, a lot of the matchups in this game are evolving to the point where Troubleshooter just can't keep up. He, as good of a character he is, you know, he can't keep up. You know, he can give himself white health, great, cool mechanic, but what can he do with it? In neutral, you know, he can throw a grenade, conversion, and, you know, run up. That's all he gets. In pressure, same thing. He can, you know, throw a grenade, conversion, run up. You know, nothing crazy. Plus his guard damage is... I think he has the worst guard damage in the game, actually. So, it's not like you're getting much off that. Conversion is really only good on knockdown and in combos for him. So, you know, and that's the reason a lot of people say, you know, oh, Troubleshooter's a great character. What are you talking about? Like, all of his buttons are very slow. His 5AA does not Gatling on whiff, which is a big issue because his second hit of 5AA is probably the best anti-air option he has, but he doesn't get it in neutral. 5B, arguably his best button, can be low-profiled, and every other button he has is just abysmally slow. They can be counter-poked, they can be, you know, jumped over and you can be punished. They're just not good. So, I, to myself, said, alright, this game, you know, as much as I enjoy it, and as much as I enjoy, you know, being a character loyalist, I need to pick up another character to deal with these matchups that are just not a good time. Because, you know, I'm not going to sit here and lose to characters because of a matchup. So, I pick up Crusader. And in my head, I think Crusader is a, on paper, better character than Troubleshooter. He has better buttons, he has better full screen options, and he has probably the best projectile in the game in the Javelin. So, in my head, I'm like, if I lose with Troubleshooter, at least I can switch to Crusader and, you know, see what happens. So, flash forward, I don't know, a week after picking up Crusader. I finally enter another event after practicing for a while. You know, first game, I go Troubleshooter. And I won't say who I lost to, but it's another top player who I have never, ever in my life lost to in bracket. I get 2-0'd by him with Troubleshooter. I don't even switch to Crusader. Okay. I go to the loser's bracket. I get 2-0'd. I went 0-2 in this tournament for the first time in my DNF career. I've never gone 0-2 in any tournament ever. So now, this puts me in a position where, in my head, I think this game is getting to a Marvel vs. Capcom 3 point, which I come from Marvel. That was like the first game I played seriously. I love that game to death. It's a fantastic game. Probably my favorite fighting game of all time. But it has issues. Like, if you don't pick a certain 10 characters, competing is just not an option. And I think this game is getting to that point. Look at the last couple top 3s in an event. In any online event or any big event. Those top 3s are usually either Swiftmaster, Striker, Hitman, or Dragon Knight, who are 4 of the top, you know, 5 of the game. The outlier in the top 5 is Berserker, which there's only one notable Berserker in Hubert who has won events. So in my head, and this is my genuine opinion, I think this game is getting to a point where, you know, you can have moderate success with, you know, the lower, not lower level, but, you know, the mid-tier characters. But unless you're playing these top 5 characters, or top 3 even, it might even be getting to that point, you are not going to find success in this game. So, when this happened, on whatever day it was, I think it was 2 days ago, I told myself, you know what? I am playing Hitman. I'm just going straight Hitman. Do I like it? Absolutely not. I don't want to play Hitman. I don't want to be, you know, someone who's hated for playing Hitman, because everyone hates Hitman. Even Hitman players hate Hitman. But I'm not going to lose to people, whoops, that I know I'm better than strictly because they play a character that is in a higher echelon than my character. I firmly believe that this game is not competable unless you are playing a certain echelon of character. I think those characters are Hitman, who I will switch to now. Now that we're talking about him. Actually, let me look at the let me look at the screen real quick so I can get them all in my head. Okay, Hitman, Swiftmaster, Berserker, Dragon Knight, and Ranger. I think if you don't play one of those 6 characters, the success you have in this game is going to be limited. And you know, there's not many casual players anymore because this game's fan base is pretty much all competitive players. But the casual players can't even have fun because they can't pick, you know, Vanguard or Launcher and have fun because everyone else is playing the insane characters. So we're definitely in a spot where your options are becoming more and more limited. In a game with, you know, 12, 16 characters, there's really only 6.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with that. And like, for my perspective, I would say I'm way closer to casual than I am competitive or pro in this game.
Yeah.
And even I have the same feelings because this does do in part from the low player number, but you hop in the rank, you go in the lobbies, what do you see? Hitman, Swiftmaster, Strikers, like it's just the top. It's just top tier. And it's just I do believe every character in this game can beat everyone, but when it gets up to the when you get up into the top tier of gameplay, you gotta have the advantages that the top tiers give you to even stand a chance. And so, I think that Marvel comparison you made was a perfect analogy for how this game is going.
Yeah.
The character-wise, because there's just some characters who have the same thing that the lower tiers have, except they just do it better, easier, less mana, and it's just like, what's the point of playing the lower tier characters when you're just gonna make it harder for yourself?
Yeah, like Troubleshooter, because he's the character I played most. He has, you know, he pretty much has every tool you could want in a character, but he doesn't do any of them great. They're all just okay. And a lot of people look at that and say, oh yeah, like, you know, Troubleshooter's a good character, he has all these tools, but so many other characters just have these tools better and you can't compete with them. I'm just gonna get thrown to death. And that's a lot of characters in the, you know, mid-tier. You know, they can be great characters, they could have a lot of tools, but they can't do anything with them because other characters have those tools but better.
And like how you were bringing up how some characters are just hated, like the Hitman players and stuff like that. That's a thing because of how often they're played and just because of how oppressive they can be to everyone. Even pros don't like it, especially for as a Ranger main myself, I know the hate that Ranger gets for his guard break situations and such, and it's just like, when you think about it, Ranger himself isn't the most greatest character, but he has such a broken guard break that it's just like, why wouldn't you want to use that? Because you can essentially almost guarantee yourself a win with that. And when you get up into top tier gameplay where it basically becomes 2-touch, sometimes even 1-touch, just that one advantage instantly gives you the match. And it's interesting how quickly this game has kind of become a 3-character game, 5-character game, like you were saying.
Yeah. Like, I don't think anyone would disagree in, like, hey, Hitman's the best character in the game. I don't think anyone disagrees with that. I think that's kind of like the general opinion at this point.
Yeah, the only debate I would see for that is Dragon Knight, but for the most part, most people still say Hitman.
Yeah, which, you know, Lupro, arguably the best, you know, Dragon Knight. We're good friends. We talk all the time. And me and him kind of agree, like, Lupro in Awakening might be the best character in the game, honestly, because that infinite mana does so much for her. Given it's not, you know, really infinite mana, but it's basically infinite mana.
Yeah, and it's just it's crazy. Like the awakening, the whole idea of awakening, I think, is a cool like feature.
Yeah,
but it also, I feel like it just kind of really takes away the balance of the game at times.
Yeah.
Because I mean, you have the near infinite mana with Dragonite. You have let's see, you have Ranger's Awakening, which is basically a huge debuff just for getting one hit on a character.
Yeah.
Hitman is able to put you in a stun state off a follow-up from a DP. And it's just like, some of these awakenings are crazy, and then you have other ones where it's like, oh, Swiftmaster moves faster. Like, you know, like...
Yeah, he's fast as fuck, boy.
Yeah, it's just like, some awakenings feel like they're not very, what's the word, I guess? The awakenings don't feel like they're balanced or, like, fair sometimes. I mean...
Yeah, some of them are definitely not intuitive.
I mean, like, for, like, the low-tier characters, I can't even name what their awakenings are. I can't think of what a launcher's awakening is. Vanguard.
She just gets more damage.
Yeah, it's just like, it just feels like that's not something that truly helps them.
Uh-oh. I don't know if I did that in time.
That was the first time I've seen a time like that.
Nope, I didn't. Darn. Yeah, no. One of the thoughts I had for this game in terms of like balancing is, you know, look at some characters who have bad awakenings. Grappler, his awakening is basically a nerf. His awakening makes it so he gets less white health from guarding attacks, and he needs white health to be competitive. So that needs to be looked at, obviously. But, you know, characters like Hitman who get the boys, or Dragon Knight who gets infinite mana, you know, they benefit so greatly from their awakening. So my thought was, look at these characters who have terrible awakenings, right? And say, okay, let's retool these, right? Let's make these a little more useful. And then the other thought is that you change the awakening system completely. So I think this game's awakening system should be that if you use your awakening super, I keep messing that up, in a round of a game, say you use it round 1, you no longer get your super, and you no longer get your awakening ability for the rest of the game.
Interesting.
So that's my thought, because that's the same thing that Mortal Kombat 12 does. You get your killing blow once per game. And I think that would help a lot in the balancing of the game, because, you know, Hitman, either you get the kill with your awakening, or now you have to save it because he gets such a big benefit from having it that, you know, you want to be able to have that until the end of the game. So it becomes a whole nother layer of, you know, when am I going to spend this?
Yeah, and that definitely adds another, like, intriguing layer to the game, because there are, I mean, when the life bars start getting low, a lot of characters, especially with Berserker and stuff, it just becomes a point where it's like, oh, if I'm below 30%, this Berserker is going to put himself in Awakening and ult for the win. So by taking that away, I really like that change. I'm not going to lie. I actually think that's a really good change. It'd be something I'd actually want to see in the game. Because I think, I don't know, because I feel like, I don't know if people have this opinion of the game, but sometimes it does feel like Oonga Boonga, you know, kind of just swing away.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so I feel like just adding more of those, like, tactical mindset strategies you need to think of would greatly help make this game a little bit more accessible.
Because a lot of people say, like, oh, this game needs more defensive mechanics. I don't think it needs more defensive mechanics at all. I think the defensive mechanics you have the access to are sufficient. They just need to be retweaked. Card cancel, probably shouldn't be 100 mana. That's preposterous. Guard breaks definitely shouldn't be as easy as they are. So, like, I think the game, in terms of, like, the mechanics it has, it just needs retooling. Not a complete overhaul like people are asking for.
So
I hate that grenade.
Hollow brought this up in his video, but how would you feel about having a push block for like 10 mana each time you push block implemented? Because he brought that up as a possibility.
Yeah, I don't know, because that kind of negates the point of this game. You know, the pressure of the game would change so drastically. Oh, nice. Mine's better. Yeah, I don't know. That's it's an interesting thought for sure. Like, I feel like a lot of people would like it. I personally would not like it. I don't like mechanics that essentially freely get you out of pressure. I think that is something in a lot of games that basically get you out of having to play defensively or having to block. And I think it shows that a lot of players don't know how to block in games still, even though, you know, fighting games have been out for years and years and years. So it's an interesting thought for sure. I just don't know if I'd be a fan of it.
All right. And you were talking about how you want to, like, tweak the defensive mechanics. Do you think the roll needs to be tweaked as well from what it is right now?
Yeah, I think roll should definitely only have 2 frames of startup and not 3. And I think that would help roll like a ton. Because it having 3 frames of startup and 11 frames of recovery basically makes it useless. Well, not useless, but you know, in most matchups, you're never going to use it. So if they made the frames just a little different, you know, it'd be fine.
Yeah, and that's even something that casual people have brought up, because I have a couple friends who have played DNF Duel with me, and they always ask me, "What's the point of rolling when you punish me every time I do it?"
Yeah,
and it's just like, well, I mean, that's just how it is. So that's
exactly.
That's definitely, I think, one thing everyone can agree on is that roll needs. I don't know if minor is the right word, but it needs an overhaul at least.
Yeah, it needs something. It needs to be a real option and not just something you do in certain matchups, like Ranger. Obviously, you use it a ton against Ranger, but, you know, then what, you know?
Yeah, usually if you roll against Ranger, you're going to get gun-hawked immediately. Yeah. So it just kind of gets becomes a mute point, especially against a character that's trying to zone you out the entire time.
I tried to bait that. Yeah. So I don't know. This game just needs a couple changes, because I already think it's a great game. I actually, you know, adore this game. I can't believe that didn't kill me. I have no complaints with this game. Well, I should say I didn't have any complaints with this game until recently. Now obviously I have, you know, a couple in terms of the tiers. But like, I love this game. I would not take this game so seriously if I didn't enjoy it. And I think it just needs a couple things to be great.
So, in terms of the tiers, do you feel confident in the December only buffs update apparently that's coming out and hopefully resolving some of your issues? Or
confident probably isn't the word I'm looking for.
Curious.
I definitely like the idea of only buffs. That is a fantastic idea, because I think that's something the game definitely needs. I'm dead. But buffing every character, that is a slippery slope, you know?
Yeah, it's definitely a cause for concern, because it's just like, we don't know what they're gonna do, you know, because like, like changing the frame data to be slightly faster on move, that's a buff, but
yeah,
what if they do that to a low tier and then a top tier like Hitman gets 8 buffs or something? Like, we don't know exactly what they're gonna do.
Yeah,
so it's definitely, I'm hopeful that they're gonna understand the fact that the top tiers don't need major buffs.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same,
I'm gonna hope so too.
They haven't.
But this is aiding we're talking about.
Yeah, they haven't shown anything that kind of gives me confidence, especially when you take their pass into consideration. I mean, with Marvel vs. Capcom 3, with Virgil, Zero, who else is broken? Dante was kind of broken. Dante was broken in that game. So it's definitely gonna be interesting what they do. I still have a slight feeling that they're gonna walk back that statement about all buffs between now to December.
Maybe. I mean, they might walk it back. They might double down on it. They might say December might come around and they say, "Oops, we forgot."
That's highly
There's
likely.
A lot of things that can happen.
But yeah, it's just like
I don't know.
Yeah, it's just like you said. This game is fun. I love it as well. I'm gonna keep playing it no matter what. But it is frustrating that there's so much potential here, and it's just like there's just little things that are keeping it from pure greatness, and it's just frustrating to see as a fan, really.
No, it is, and you know, like I said at the beginning, this game is a glorified ad for DFO, and you know, now that it's done so well, they're in a position where it's like, okay, now what? So I think they're kind of just like spinning their wheels in the mud right now. Like, what do we do?
Yeah, it'll be interesting, especially depending on how well it keeps doing on the Arx's World Tour.
Yeah.
I can't say that word. Yeah, depending on how it does on the tour with participation numbers, I think. Hopefully, that gives them even more confidence to say, like, okay, yeah, we need to keep support for this game. We need to get on this. I mean, we can't just let it sit here.
I hope so, but, you know.
Never know with these people. And there's that Hitman awakening.
Cringe.
The boys.
Gaming. Why beta throw when I can just run up DPU?
Exactly. And does his awakening take away his recovery from DP, or is it still just as bad?
So the way it works is if I DP and go into the boys, you can roll the gap, because there is a gap that you can roll. However, if I have white health, I can just conversion the Shattering Strike and still be safe and punish you for rolling.
That is insane, being able to punish someone for reading a DP and the DP follow-up.
Yep. He's a great character. That's why I'm playing him. Oh no.
So are you still planning to keep Crusader as like a pocket then, or?
I mean, I'm gonna kind of just play it by ear. Like, I'm not entering anything for the rest of this week, so that I can kind of just keep practicing Hitman. And you know, we're gonna see what happens. If I have immediate success with Hitman, I'm never playing another character again. I'm just gonna play Hitman until the December patch and then decide from there. Although, if Monk gets added at some point, I will drop every single character in this game to play Monk. Monk is my favorite DFO character. I don't care if he's the worst character in the game, I will play him. But yeah, if I get, you know, success clicking Hitman, I'm just gonna stick with it. I'm not gonna pick other characters, because obviously Hitman can handle every matchup in the game. Like, I don't have to worry about anything.
Yeah, that's for sure. I will say this: the other day when they posted their 1 year anniversary, or not 1 year, whatever, 100 days.
The 100 day, yeah.
Yeah, the cake had apparently figures of characters that aren't in the game.
Yeah, it did. It had one for, oh god, we were talking about it yesterday. It had Monk, Spectre, female Nen Master, and a few more that I can't remember. But we were talking about it yesterday, and yeah, it had a lot of different little teases there. So my hopes for Monk in the game, very high.
Yeah, I mean, I hope you don't mind, but let me grab my copium tank over here. That picture just kind of reinforces my feeling that they are planning some DLC for this game in terms of when it comes out. Who knows?
Yeah.
But I don't know. That picture kind of reinforced my copium on that.
Yeah, which, I mean, at CEO Otaku, they said, you know, we have something in the works, we just can't show you yet. So it's kind of just a waiting game of what it is.
Yeah, before that picture, my idea was kind of that it was actually just going to be crossplay. That is what they were working on. Because
that would be tragic.
A lot of Arxis games are getting crossplay, so I was kind of thinking, like, what if that's all it is? And it's just like, I mean, crossplay would be... it'd be great.
I don't even care about crossplay, personally.
Yeah, but, I mean, the player base is so depleted. I mean, I guess crossplay would kind of help with the matchmaking, but at what point does that end up not really mattering? I feel like if crossplay comes out, then even more people are gonna just drop the game because they're like, there's no DLC. So it's just like that's the
exactly.
That's the state that fighting games are in this day and age. Is if you don't have DLC, you're not gonna keep a player base. It's just how it is. People are expecting DLC. DLC has become the norms for fighting games.
Yeah, yeah. And I mean, like I said, they said we got something in the works. Maybe it's DLC. Maybe my dream will come true and I'll be able to play Monk in this game. Copium. But, you know, we're going to have to just wait and see, man. Like, they are only giving us so much at a time to, like, go off of that. You know, we're kind of just playing a waiting game right now.
Yeah, my only hope is that whatever they do, the balance patch in December isn't another Spark Notes.
Exactly. Because I was so deflated from that. I was like, oh my gosh, finally, nerfs to the best characters in the game. I'm so happy. And then I saw it and I was like, great, thank you so much.
Yeah, I remember when those came out. I woke up.
Yeah.
I think the patch came out in the night, like middle of the night here. And I remember someone texted me. It was like, go check the DNF patch notes. And I was like, oh god, Ranger got destroyed in the patch notes, didn't he? He's like, just go look. I opened it. I was like, the rest isn't loading. He's like, no, that's it.
Yeah.
And it's just like, wait, what?
Yep, that's it.
It was. I don't want to say anything because I know who knows what's going on behind the scenes there, but that was slightly ridiculous. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, that was like, that's the equivalent of putting vital nutrients in like a hamster water bottle and drip feeding it to us.
That is the most perfect analogy I've heard to describe that situation.
Yeah, that was actually, like, I was like, well, game's dead. See you later, folks. And then here I am, you know, months later.
It's now playing top tier character.
Yeah, playing top tier. Why not?
Yeah, there's no
Who's
reason
gonna
not
stop
to.
me?
Well, as we get into this final match here, is there anything more you would like to say regarding like the future of DNF or something about the characters?
I mean, pretty much all I can really say is, as a wise man once said, if you're playing this game and you want to play well and have success, pick a top tier. That's the moral of the story here today, folks. Pick a top tier. But realistically, the real ending point is, if you enjoy your character, play your character. Look at Black. Plays Crusader still gets top 8s, hasn't won an event in a while, but you know, he still has success. Look at Riazo, who is a Enchantress player, got 5th place at TNS yesterday. You know, they just enjoy the character. They want to play that character, and they're sticking with it, and they're having some success. You can have success. It might not be the exact success you want, but, you know, you can make it work. You don't have to be like me and say, you know what, I'm losing to people that are better than me, or not better than me. I'm losing to people that I know I'm better than, and I'm not going to let it happen anymore. You can just say, hey, I know I'm better than this person. I'm going to beat them.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought up that TNS stuff, because that was my last night's TNS was the first tournament I really watched besides CO Taki for DNF, and that Enchantress was insane. That Enchantress was insane.
Riazzo is very talented. Me and him have been playing a lot lately, and he has gotten very good very fast.
Yeah, you can tell he's put in a lot of work on that character.
He has,
like his match against Ken was probably my favorite match of the tournament.
Yeah, that was a good match.
That was fun to watch. Well, as I'm about to get Hitman here.
Oop, oh, nope, you lived.
Never mind.
Yeah, he's in this DNF Discord that I'm in, and he is literally on the game from like 12 p.m. until like 3 a.m. He is grinding it hard, and yeah, he wants to be great. So, you know, good on him.
That's the life of a low tier in this game. DNF devs, if you hear that, please help this man get some rest and give his character something to help compete with the top tiers a little bit easier.
That was an interesting situation. Yeah, so, you know, he is having a lot of success. Wonderful, cool. But I want more success, so I'm playing Hitman.
I know, that's perfectly valid. I mean, I honestly agree with a lot of your opinions here. I can see why people would disagree with them, because I just think people really like to stick with the idea of, oh, my character's not broken. But in this game, there's definitely a bias towards the top tier.
No, yeah, absolutely. There really is. And you know what? Can't beat them, join them.
Yep. Well, as is tradition now in these videos, I bow in defeat. Oh, God.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Well, Bacon, thank you once again for being here. I really do appreciate it. Your knowledge into fighting games is obvious, very apparent, and very good. Guys, if you want to check out Bacon, you can follow him on Twitter. You can follow him on Twitch. I'll have them both linked in the description down below. I'll let you guys know. His streams are amazing. They're fun. And you're going to definitely see a lot of great gameplay. So, Bacon, is there anything?
And you will see me with my shirt off very often.
Yes, people like to redeem that a lot. Well, Bacon, is there any last words you'd like to say?
Last words. Please support Black Ace. He is, you know, trying very hard to be a content creator, and he's doing a great job. I think the first episode was great. I posted it on Twitter. It's got a couple of retweets and stuff. You'll have been checking it out. So please support him as best you can. Follow him everywhere you can, and you know, watch his content. It's good content. That's some good effing content.
Goddamn, Bacon's got me over here blushing and shit. All right, guys, if you guys liked the video, make sure you leave a like. If you want to see more of honest conversations about DNF Duel and other games as well, make sure you subscribe to the channel, and I will see you all next time. Peace.
Bye-bye.